What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into Mikey's Boardroom. I'm Mikey.
I'm Krista.
And this is our boardroom. Tonight we are going to review Power Grid. Power Grid is a game for 2 to 6 players. 2 to 6? 2 to 6? It's a game for 2 to 6 players. I'm going to talk about, we'll run you kind of through how you play it real quick, and then we'll dive into what we think, what we liked, what we didn't like, and what we think others might not like about it as well, sort of taking the board game review format. So basically, Power Grid is a game where you are bidding auction style on a bunch of different power plants, and you are getting those power plants. You're buying resources, coal and oil and trash and uranium, whatever the power plant needs. You're buying those resources to power those power plants, and then those power plants can all power up a certain number of cities. So you're also building power plants in a bunch of different cities, and you want to power as much as you can to earn money at the end of every round, and then at the very end of the game, whoever can power the most cities on the last turn wins the game. So it's pretty straightforward, fairly simple, not too complex at all, especially by a lot of today's standards. A lot of the games that come out today are a lot more complicated than this one. This one came out in 2004, so pretty old, but it holds up fairly well. It is dated, but it does hold up fairly well. In addition to that, we'll also be talking a little bit about the robot expansion. It's sort of an essential expansion if you want to play with 2 players, because straight out the box, this game is not the strongest at 2 players. And even with the robot expansion, it's not the greatest at 2 players. But it definitely is more fun with the robot expansion than it is without the robot expansion.
Yeah, 100%.
I would not recommend this game at all without the robot expansion for 2 players. With the robot expansion, I can say that it's fun. I would say look into it because it's definitely not for everybody, but we'll dive a little bit more into that right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we liked. Personally, something I really liked about the game is just the whole resource management, money management system. I thought it was really, really fun. So bidding on the power plants, trying to outbid your opponents, then buying resources to power those power plants, building cities, and then having enough resources to power those cities to get more money. Just that cycle. It felt really satisfying to me. It paid off. You get a lot of money for, it's not like $6 if you power a city. You're dealing with a bigger economy. And so it feels really satisfying to me, I thought. I don't know if you would agree or disagree with that.
I liked that I was better than you at it.
But that's every game. If that's your standard, then you like every game.
That's not true. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of the game.
Okay. Another pro that I really liked, I thought that building out your network, so building in one city and then expanding your network, growing your cities that you have power plants in, I also thought that was satisfying, and that was
just so
and that
simple.
was fun.
And
it's very simple.
I don't know. It's well done.
Okay, what did you like about it? Because I'm not talking about what I didn't like yet. What did you like? So you don't have to like the same things as me.
I know, that's my point.
She does. You better like the same thing as me. Did you like anything about the game?
Like, it wasn't a terrible game, but
okay,
I would never pick this up, and I'd probably get rid of it in a heartbeat.
What specifically? Okay. There you have it.
It's well done. It doesn't look bad. The pieces are nice. Like, it's a nice quality game. It didn't feel like somebody just threw it together. Like, there was thought put into it. So I guess I can say that. Like, it was a well put together game.
Well, it's almost 20 years old, so give it a break.
So, hey, it stood the test of time.
Yeah, it stood the test of time.
So,
there's
just that.
Better games that are out.
I feel like, I feel like I could pull this out and play this with my parents fairly easily.
Yeah, it's easily teachable.
And I could have fun doing that with them.
It's very easy to comprehend. You can definitely play this with... And that's
older
another
generation.
That's another thing. Not just that, but people who don't really play board games. So that was another thing that I really liked, is that it's a great game it's complicated enough that it's fun for gamers, fun enough. But if it's a group of gamers or a group of board gamers or whatnot, I don't think that this is the game to play with them. But if you're playing with people who aren't really into the hobby or anything like that, this is a good one. Yeah. I think that parents can easily comprehend this one. And like I said, just people who don't really play games. It's fairly straightforward, fairly simple, and it's complex enough that you can still get some satisfaction while you're playing it. At least I can.
I get satisfaction from destroying you. So.
Yeah, there you go. So you definitely can get satisfaction from it. All right, so let's move on to some of the things that I didn't like, even though this whole review, I guess, is talking about how you don't like
it.
I do like this game,
yeah. You have liked it from the start.
Yes, I have.
We're just different people.
And
there's nothing wrong with the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not dogging game.
You don't have to defend yourself. Your opinion is valid. You can dog the game.
I'm not. No, the game's fine.
Okay, so let's talk about things I didn't like. So my biggest gripe with the game is that it's just doing the same exact things over and over and over again until the game's over. So you bid on
same result.
Exactly. So you bid on power plants. You then buy your resources to power the power plants that you have. You then build out your network, build cities, and then you spend those resources to power as many cities as you can to get a chunk of money. And then you do that again. You auction, you buy, you build, you power. You auction, you buy, you build, you power, over and over again until the game's over. So that is it. So by the time the game's over, it's just kind of like it just feels like
climax?
It just feels like you're doing the same exact thing the whole game. So it's not. I mean, and I thought that cycle was fun. That was kind of my pros, that it's a fun cycle. But by the time 2 hours in, I'm just like,
it just drags. Like if it was like a 45-minute game, I could see that being fun.
If it was shorter, it would be a lot better. I feel like
it's just like okay.
But yeah, it's just the same thing over and over and over and over again.
And once somebody's ahead, it's not easy to get ahead of that person. Like it's not. Otherwise, you would have done it.
I kind of disagree with that because the way the turn order works is that whoever has the most cities gets to go first, and then the important phases where you're buying resources and building cities, it goes in reverse turn order. So as the turn order changes, it can kind of mix it up.
Because if you figure out the key to this game, which I have done, it doesn't matter which order you go in. If you're gonna win, you're gonna win.
Well,
you haven't figured it out.
You say that, but link in the description to our playthrough where she lost. So she talks a big game, but can't back it up. My other biggest con with it is that it's just kind of dated. It's old. So like there's paper money, which is very kind of annoying to deal with, especially when you're getting paid $72 that round, and then you're paying out $46, and then you have to do all this crazy math of what's 46 minus 13 minus 10 minus 14. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's not very streamlined, I guess. But the paper money feels kind of finicky, and then the turn tracker, where you're moving your house up and down to track who went and it's just very like
there's just so many
fiddly, I think is the word. There's so many little things and little bits and just things like that where I feel like it could be done a lot better and a lot more simplified. And I think simplified would be better because it'd be smaller, shorter, and less fiddly.
I feel like I could, if it was a little more simple too, I could like watch something and play it.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of nice. Like it's just a little bit too much, I think, because of the math and like the keeping track of the turns.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to like do anything else.
But yeah, if
it was a little more streamlined, I feel like you could multitask.
It's overly complex for what it is. I feel like it doesn't need to be that complicated. Yeah. That was kind of my only personal cons were those two things. The biggest one is just the cycle of doing the same thing over and over again for 2 hours. But that's, like we said, kind of what makes it easier for people who aren't into gaming, I guess. Yeah.
I could definitely play this with my parents, and I'd probably have a good time playing it with you, who is capable of playing a better game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, specifically talking about the robot, I really like the different abilities that it brings and how there's a bunch of different ones, and they all kind of do different things so that you never have to play with the robot twice, the same robot twice. But a big downside of that for me is that the robot takes a lot of upkeep. You have to be basically playing for that robot, deciding what cities he's going to build. And there are rules for it, but you still have to kind of follow those rules. It's not like I always talk about the Dune AI because I feel like that one's very simple. You flip a card, you send the worker to where it says to go, and you give them what it says. Whereas this, it takes a little bit more. You have to, like I said, buy its resources for it. You have to buy its power plant. You have to, power those cities.
So that it benefits you.
Exactly. It's not so straightforward that it can't. You can't use it in your favor. So it's not a great AI, but like I said, it is better. It is better than the one out of the box. Yeah. And then something that's I could see people not liking is the auction system. If you don't like auctions, like auction buying in game and bidding against other people, if you don't like that mechanic, you're really not going to like that game because it's a third of this game basically is auctioning for your power plants. So
it's also very fiddly.
If that's frustrating to you, you're definitely not gonna like this game at all. Okay, yeah. So what's your overall rating? Where do you want me to go first?
You go first?
Okay, so my overall rating, I'm gonna say that this game is a 3 out of 5. It's a good game. I would probably never ask to play it with her or with people who, like she said, are capable of playing a better game. Yeah. To me, it feels a little bit similar to Brass Birmingham, in that you get your network, you're building out your network, except Brass just brings a lot more complexity to the table and brings just a much more satisfying game.
Yes.
Satisfying, finesse, that's a good word. It just feels like a better, more streamlined version of it, I guess. Streamlined, maybe not, because
it's just better done.
it's just a better game. But if you compare everything to Brass, it's sort of unfair because Brass is such a great game. But to me, if I'm going to play this, a 2-hour game or whatnot, I'd rather just play Brass with that time because it's better and we have it. That being said, Brass is like $60-$70. This was $30. So it's good for what it is. But so like I said, 3 out of 5 for me. But I probably would not ever ask to play it. If she was like, I want to play this game tonight, I'd be like, okay, well, let's play Power Grid. But I'd probably ask her if she'd rather play Brass first. How about you? What do you think?
Okay, can you tell me what the 1 and 2 is?
Okay, so one is just a bad game. Okay. It's either broken or it's just a bad game. Okay. 2 is a game that I would just rather never play again. So yeah.
Okay, I'd probably give it 2.
2? That's fine.
But like a very low 2. I really don't like this game, and I don't mean anything against like the game makers. It's just
what she's saying is that if you like this game,
type of game,
if you like this game, you're an idiot. Is what she's saying.
No, I don't. It's just it feels pointless to me, and so it's hard.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's just hard.
So if I ask you, are we keeping it?
I'd say no.
I want to keep.
If you asked me to play this, I would say no.
I would like to keep this game for one reason. And one reason only, it's basically what we've already talked about, is that it's pretty simple. And so I would like to have this game so that we can bust it out if we want to play a board game with like my parents or with friends who come over and they don't play a lot of board games, so like want to play Ticket to Ride. And we're like, well, how about we play this? It's a little bit more complicated, although you'd probably rather play
Ticket to Ride.
Okay, let me say that. If they're like, let's play Monopoly.
Yes, I would do Monopoly.
Okay, we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it.
But it's fine. Like, I can see why somebody would like it. It's just 100% not my type of game.
I would say if you're interested in this game, I mean, it's $30, so you could just go buy it. But he
really likes it.
Watch our playthrough and see if it seems like a game for you, because it's very repetitive. There's a fly.
There's a fly. He's saying. He's giving himself a bath. What a little naughty fly.
Can you see that? Can you see on the camera? He's licking him. Oh my gosh. He's washing himself everywhere. Look at that. Just butts up in the air.
Anyways, you really like the game.
I did.
So just
I do
two
like
completely different type of people.
I do like the game.
It's a fine game.
But I'd be fine getting rid of it because we also have Brass, and so I could.
And because I wear the pants, if I say no, it's a no.
There you have it. There you have it.
But if anybody that made this game is watching it, it's fine. You did great. I just don't like it.
Yeah, you're not going to please everybody. I feel like we have to give this caveat or this disclosure on all of our reviews. But she's extremely hard to please with board games. She enjoys playing everything, and she'll like have fun with it and keep an open mind. But she's extremely hard. It takes a lot for her to really love a board game. Where I kind of like everything, but it takes a lot for me to really love something like Brass. So that's our review. Anything else to add?
Other than I feel guilty now for being so honest.
Why do you feel guilty? Don't be guilty for being honest.
Because somebody put a lot of hard work into this game.
Yeah, and they did great.
But I just shot them down.
No, it came out like 20 years ago. Give them a break.
And they're on their deathbed watching this, just heartbroken at my life's work.
Anyways, anything else to add besides that?
No.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, we're getting rid of it. Sorry, Power Grid. Toodles. Thank you so much for popping in and checking out our review. Like I said many times already, there's a playthrough down in the description if you want to check that out. If you could leave a comment or a like on our video, we would appreciate that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just thank you so much for watching our video. We really, really appreciate all of the views that we get, and just
there's too many bugs. We gotta get out of here.
There's so many bugs tonight. We're in the garage, okay? This is our studio.
It's our kid-free zone.
Exactly. So anyways, go out, be kind to someone, and have a great rest of your day.
It's warm.